So this is the
Done.
bit where Stu gets his imaginary scissors and cuts them out and makes a split, puts in some fancy shindangle. You have a quote for us at the beginning of the after party, Stu?
No, there's no after party quote. I just expect
No
you guys to
after-party
be
quote.
awesome.
Oh, we are awesome. I got a couple of things to talk about today. Very, very important things. One of them is, show of hands, who is lining up to buy the Apple iWatch, or whatever the heck they're calling it? No one. No. There was an awful lot of chatter on the internet over the last day, but I myself am probably going to go down the path of the Pebble. I quite like the look of the Pebble. Tanya is spamming me. I don't know if you guys know Tanya. She is spamming my phone right now, getting me to ask Stuart to share something, and I can't think of it, what it could be, because it's definitely not the picture of me in the window, because he's already shared that. So, Stuart, do you have anything you want to share?
Not specifically, but I'll go and find out what she's talking about. So you guys chat amongst yourselves.
Tanya is very vocal, and when she's not on the show, she wants to be on the show. So, welcome back, Tanya. Yeah, I like the idea of the smartwatch, but I'm just not so sure whether it's the next big thing or whether Apple are just clutching at straws. Any thoughts on the old smartwatch idea?
Are we talking the 10 grand smartwatch or the $350 one?
I haven't seen the 10 grand one. Is there a 10 grand one? Is that where you like get
like gold or something?
I'm sure I saw a story earlier on where they've got some sort of gold designer one that's 10 grand, or you can get the standard one for $350. Yeah, just a bit of fun on Apple's side, I think, if that is true.
The top price is $20,000.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah.
What do you get for your 20 grand that you don't get for $350?
You get gold. You get gold. So.
I don't know. I work for a camera store part-time, which is great. Discount on camera gear. And a friend and one of the people I work with, he's got a smartwatch, and I personally don't see the hype. That's just me. He barely uses it. He wears it all the time, but he barely uses it.
I have a smartwatch I've been wearing for a year, and I love it, and I wouldn't be without it, and I'll be probably first in line in the pre-order for the Apple Watch. But that's me.
So what version, what flavor of smartwatch do you have there?
This is the Pebble.
Ah, did you see the new Pebble that hit $10 million in a day and a half?
Yeah, I didn't go for the newest version of it, but I'm saving my money for the Apple Watch.
But what do you do with it? What can you do with it?
Well, you know, that question reminds me of my son-in-law. When I bought the initial iPhone that came out, and I said, "You really need to get this because it does so many things. You can do this." He said, "Well, I don't understand what I would do with it." And he finally bought one, and he has never gone a day without it. He is constantly using it. He's found all kinds of reasons, and the same thing will happen with the watch. People who don't have them and don't see a need, if they jump in, will find out why it's really a neat thing to have. It's hard to describe if you don't have one out what it does for you. You know, I mean, the criticism is, well, can't you just pull your phone out of your pocket and do everything? And of course you can. But who
does
wants
it
to
come
do
with,
that?
hey, Barry, I want to know, does it come with a magnifying glass? I can barely see my iPhone.
Yeah. Well, leave it to Apple.
Maybe that's a great little Kickstarter project right there. This enormous, magnet-attached piece of glass that just blows it up to like this huge dome hanging over your hand. The problem is you won't be able to lift your hand up to see it. You have to put your head down to look at it because it's too heavy. Tanya is still fighting to get on the show. I'm not sending you an invite, all right? You're not coming on. Not today. Okay? I don't have the time for that right now. Have you figured out what you want, Stuart?
I have, but that's for another show. That's all I'm saying.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So, Stuart,
All right.
is there any way we can figure out how many people are? Do you know how many people are watching at any one time?
I don't at the moment. No, it's Ollie is the host, and so he gets all access to that somewhere. But
Can I add a 0 just to make it sound more amazing?
What?
10.
What? 5 million instead of 50?
Oh,
10 zeros. I love you too, Tanya. Thank you very much. Currently 33. No, as I speak, 31. They are dropping like flies. Obviously, no one cares about the Apple iWatch. It's perfectly fine. We did get up to 60-something during the show, so that was hitting new records of amazingness right there.
So did you have something else to share, Ollie, or will I do some sharing? Because I have
No,
something.
you do your sharing first. You've heard enough from me for a while.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there is a thing called Easy Panel, which is by a guy called Jimmy McIntyre. And it's something that I saw Ron mention in a video once. It helps you with luminosity masks. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you guys how it works, because it is super easy, as the name would suggest. So just give me a moment.
Has he spelled it EASY, or is it some weird kind of Web 2.0 version?
Nope, it is just the normal, everyday, easy.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to buy it right now.
Just based on that.
Just
Yeah. So
based on
can you see my Photoshop now?
yeah.
Yes, I can see Photoshop.
Okay, cool. So you can see the panel on the right-hand side here. It's just an add-in for Photoshop, and you can get it from this guy's website. So I'll put the notes together later on, but once I've stopped screen sharing, I'll tell you what the website is. Anyway, so what you do is you add the action panel thing through the add-in installer for Creative Cloud or whichever version of Photoshop you've got, and then you need to make sure that on the right-hand side, instead of being in layers where you would normally be, you need to be in channels, because otherwise it will look like nothing's happened. But if you just click Create Luminosity Masks on the panel there, it starts adding them all in, and it's basically as simple as that, and you'll see it creating them all as you go, and it does various different brights, mediums, lows, all those sorts of things as it goes, and then you can work with them however you want, and you can also, through the panel, just do the brights or just do the darks, and you can hit one button to delete them all, whatever you want to do. So it's just an easy way of creating luminosity masks and getting rid of them, rather than going round the manual route that most people would know. So hopefully you can see them all
Nice.
appearing over the right-hand side.
I think
of
I
the screen.
have seen that before, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now,
So there was an old version of it, and there was issues with newer versions of Photoshop. So they basically recreated it from the ground up, as far as I'm aware. And then now they've got this completely compatible. So it doesn't matter if you've got a 5-year-old version of Photoshop or the most recent. This will work with it. So,
okay.
So it's quite handy.
In your tools panel with the little square buttons, the second one from the bottom is blue. Is that the one that you're talking about?
No. So in the
Yeah,
you mean in
Because
the
we
channels
can't
section.
Yeah, I can see the channels are generating, but I didn't see the panel you were referring to that you pushed the
Oh,
button
okay.
on.
Interesting. That maybe doesn't show. Hold on, I'll do a
I don't
screenshot
think
if that is working, and then I'll share the screenshot so you guys can all see it. So, give me 2
We can see
moments.
Photoshop, and we can see the channels appearing, but we can't see the other.
All right, that's interesting that the panel didn't share. It must be like it's almost a different window.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so all the panels, all the channels appeared there. So I'll just share my screenshot in a moment with you. Talk
Cool.
amongst yourselves.
Yes.
When
let's
you're,
do it.
Stuart, when you're finished, can I show a competitor version of that panel?
Absolutely. I have no preference for any type of panel. This was just useful to me.
For a small fee, Barry, we do have sponsorship from these guys today, just to pay for today's coffee. So if you're going to put something else up, you just need to flick a couple of dollars through to Stuart.
Hey, Ollie, is that your cat sitting next to you there?
Yes. It's nice that you remembered Fluffy. Poor old Fluffy passed away, so I had Fluffy taxidermied, stuffed. No, it's my dead cat for my microphone.
Uh-oh. That's nice. Whoa.
It stops me popping the microphone and the fan in the background because it's so hot here in New Zealand right now.
So rather than share the screenshot that I just did, because actually the website that the guy runs has a shot of it on the right-hand side. So the website you want to look for is throughstrangelenses.com, or you can Google Jimmy McIntyre, and I'm sure that website will come up as well. And you see over the right-hand side of the shot here with the bird in it, there's the easy panel with all the various different buttons on there. That's what it appears like in Photoshop. So you just click Create Luminosity Masks or Delete Luminosity Masks, whichever you need to do. And then there's also a few other actions in there that like sharpen for web and stuff. So very handy, small install, does everything you would want it to do as far as luminosity masks are concerned, apart from all the hard work after you've created them.
Barry, were you going to share?
Yeah, I just want to show you quickly something that I found by a guy named Tony Kuiper, who has a website, sells all kinds of things, but he mainly specializes in luminosity mask photography. So I will bring up, you see my Photoshop screen?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. It's also through a panel. I imagine I have to have an image open. So his panel looks a little bit more complicated, but it starts with the same basic thing. You begin by creating the luminosity masks similar to Jimmy McIntyre's. I guess I have to have the image open. I'll just use Janice's image. And so you can create all of the masks. I'll open up the channels. You can see it opened all the luminosity masks that quickly. And you have all the similar kinds of gradations. They call them a little bit different names, but it goes from the very lightest to the very darkest. But what I found the beauty of this panel was you could go in and create a mask on a specific luminosity panel without going through all of this. For example, if you just wanted to create a curve adjustment on the mid-tone lights, you would simply click that button and you would automatically, just see it appears up here, you get a curve adjustment layer with that mask that you selected already on it. And you could select any one of these individually and get a mask with it on the curve or the levels. Then when you shift over to the Actions panel, you can select a mask for any degree within that specific cohort. So if you just want to look at darks, you could begin selecting the most dark, the next level of dark, or the next level of dark. You can see on the image on the right, as I click on each button, it's selecting a different group and subgroup of the darks. And so you get tremendous flexibility in there and how to really get a finely tuned selection on a very specific area. He's also included a number of very common adjustments right in the panel. So you don't have to keep switching over to adjustment layers and so forth. You can simply click on any of these and automatically bring up, a curve or levels or hue saturation. And without going into lots of detail, there's so much more in here that you can go get into. I think it takes the McIntyre version and sort of explodes it out to another level. So it really depends what level of detail you're used to working in. You certainly could get by easily with the McIntyre version, but I found that the degree of the granularity of this one really I found very helpful. I think it's $30 on his website, and I am not affiliated at all with him.
Just as a comparison, the Jimmy McIntyre one's free for anyone that's wanting to consider that one. So, a case of you get the functionality you pay for.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. It's always good to have that kind of stuff. Poor old Tanya. Tanya's very sad. Sorry about that, Tanya. Peter Giordano posted a comment about our previous conversation about smartwatches. He says, I use the Vivo Smart from Garmin, waterproof, heart rate, steps, sleep, alarm, music controls, and Bluetooth notifications from my smartphone. You're going to have to wait until the old Apple Watch comes out to see whether it's any better, really. I mean, there's been smartwatches for a while now, so... The other thing that I was going to share, if no one else has anything right now, was a very important thing that happened this week that kind of made headlines around the world because it's quite a bizarre thing for a sport to get in the way of, unrest, political unrest at home. But there was a Cricket World Cup is currently being played, and most people on this call probably don't know what cricket is. Has anyone heard of cricket before?
I've heard of it. Don't know what it is though.
Watched it when I was in Australia.
It's like baseball, but it goes on for much longer and is incredibly much more fun. But anyway, I'll.
And it's now been improved with flashing LEDs.
Listen, I know, I saw that. That was insane. I have to
admit, fun to play. Can't stand watching it.
Oh yeah, watching's great. So anyway, England and Bangladesh had a game the other day, and Bangladesh won, knocking England out. Now England is pretty much where cricket came from. Like, it's right up there in the history of like people who played cricket first. England's definitely on the first page. And England and Australia have this amazing competition every year called the Ashes, which comes back to some time when someone burnt the wickets. And anyway, so Bangladesh beat England going through to the quarterfinals. England have gone home with their tails between their legs to possibly the most inhumane and ferocious media in the entire world, literally waiting with bated breath to tear them to shreds as soon as they land. But in Bangladesh, all the unrest, there's been strikes going on, there's been political unrest, or blah, blah, blah. Someone came out and said, we're putting our political unrest on hold for 12 hours to make room for the celebrations of beating England at the Cricket World Cup. So I thought that was quite amazing, and actually I can't quite find the video, but you'll be able to find it if you go onto some of those BBC or The Times or something like that websites. You'll find the video footage of crowds in the streets chanting Bangladesh, Bangladesh, and it's quite amazing to see that a little game of cricket currently being played down under has made such an impact on the political unrest in Bangladesh. But there you go. That's the craziness of cricket.
It's no different with our football. Whoever loses or wins, it's crazy. The Super Bowl or World Series.
Just remind me, Lynn, in the World Series, how many countries play in the World Series?
All of one. It should be the American Series. Never could figure that one out either.
It's quite applicable. If you're in America, you quite often think that you are in the whole world right there, and sometimes surprising to know that there are countries outside of America. But it's good that you have the World Series. I'm glad. Maybe one day you'll let someone else play in it.
That would be nice.
Does America always win?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool.
See, with hockey, we just call it the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
It's no world, just Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Look, we just got down to 4 viewers. I'm only kidding, there's still 30 people out there or so.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check out.
Cool, man. Thank you very much for coming in, Barry. It was great to meet you.
My pleasure. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate your passion.
We'll do it again sometime.
Good luck with the Path of the Protege. How far along are you?
I just entered my tutorials in Stone 3.
Nice. Stone 3 of 9, isn't it? Or 10?
Yeah.
Something like that. 8 or 9.
Keeps getting longer.
It's the path that keeps on
I don't
getting
know
right.
if
Thank you
I'm
very much.
watching, what is it? Bob Young is just like speeding through. He's like, I don't know, jumping from step to step as fast as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm caught on the video still.
All right, good night, all. Thanks
for coming,
again.
Barry.
Very.
Cheers, mate.
See you later.
Okay, guys.
Lynn's tagging out as well. Whereabouts are you, Lynn? You're in Florida, so that's
I'm in Florida,
eastern.
yeah, and I've been up since very early this morning, so I'm running out of steam. So.
Was it 9:15 there?
Yeah, it's 10:15.
That's 10.
Do you have anything of your own to share before you go, Lynn?
Do I have what?
Do you have anything of your own to share? Any images or anything?
Not anything. Well, not really. I got to go to a really cool macro workshop last weekend, not this past weekend, but the previous weekend, and that was kind of interesting. The guy's name is Mike Moats, M-O-A-T-S, and he's pretty well known around for his macro stuff, and he's kind of a different guy. He's very different, and he does everything kind of he just did a lot of DIY kind of stuff. But, he takes some great images, so I kind of enjoyed it. Only managed to get up there. He was in Ocala, and I'm in Tampa, and I was driving back and forth every day. And the Saturday night, it took me 3 hours to get home because the traffic was so bad because there was an accident on the interstate. And so I did not go back on Sunday because I was so sick. Had been sick for a week. And after struggling to get home, I just could not get back in the car in the morning and drive back up there again. So I missed the third day, but I still got quite a bit out of it. So we had a good time. But
that's good.
Took some,
So when you've finished your Path of the Protege, that will obviously mean you become a master. What will you focus on? What sort of genre are you going to be leading?
That's the hard part. And poor Andy has been trying to get me focused on something from day one, and I just take pictures of everything. I love everything. I mean, I've done portraiture, I've done landscapes, I do macros, I do birds, I do flying birds, I do wildlife, anything, buildings. I just like to shoot everything, but I've got to figure out what I want to, I think what I'll do is I'll look and see what everybody else is doing, and I'll try to do something different. Something they need to have done,
I think the general cohort is still a good choice though, because my cohort's a general, and we get a really nice range of stuff. So
yeah.
Don't be put off by not knowing where you want to focus. You could focus on being general, which would be quite possible.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the jack of all trades and the master of none. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff, and so I think, in a way, that's beneficial. Yeah.
No, that's cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on today.
Well, thank you guys very much. This was a lot of fun, and I gotta sign off too because I gotta go feed some horses their dinner. All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
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 Congrats.
Bye.
What about you, Nicole? Do you have any shares you want to share with us?
I would, but they're not even started editing, and they're probably not PG-13.
That's not safe for work.
No, on Saturday I did another fine art nude series to do my tutorial video for stopping motion within portraiture. So that's my thing, but I've also had the flu all weekend, so I haven't had time. Like I've still got the flu today, so I haven't had time to do any editing. I've been passed out literally all weekend.
Mix fine art nude with the flu.
Yeah, very exciting when you have to sit down every few minutes while you're shooting to catch your breath.
So
I won't be doing that again.
Your image that won recently was the one with the paint, right? With the black body paint with paint all over.
Yeah, with holy powder. So it was a powder shot. with colored powder.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one is done with flour instead, so that I could show the. I don't know. I think I had a lot of people asking about tutorials for that stuff, so I figured I'd create one for it.
Nice. Good for the Grand Library.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you as well for coming on. So you have to shoot off. You're welcome to hit
Oh,
off.
I'm good. I think
Okay.
I'm only 8 o'clock. It's only 8 o'clock here in Alberta. We're good.
Oh, it's 3:15. It's afternoon tea time here. Tiff, in the land of lunch, do you have any images you want to share from Twitter today?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of images. Let me just do a screen share. Okay. Let me know when you can see an image.
You can see an image.
That little bird.
Yep. And I just want to say at the beginning of the show, Stu was asking me about sharing my images, and I said mine were terrible, but these ones are from other people, and these are not terrible. This is a beautiful image from Trisha Booker that she shared of a blue jay. And then I've got another one here from Jeffrey McFeeters. He's been working on some black and white lately. So just got a couple of images from the Twitter sphere today. So.
Cool.
Yep.
Which seems like a nice segue into your own images.
Into my own images. You're not going to let me get out of it, are you?
Nope.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. So this is what I've been working on lately. Let me know if you can see. It won't give me the thing to move it forward. And this little lighthouse that's on the east coast of Australia, which is nowhere near where I live. So there we go.
Oh, that was there we go. It disappeared for a second.
Yep. Okay, and yeah, what I've been working on most recently is some compositing. So I have some horrible compositing to share with you. So.
Why do you call it horrible?
Because the lighting's not right and the shadows aren't right. So it needs a little bit of work. But
still working on it.
Yeah.
It takes time, practice.
Yeah, I know. I know, but it's like you never want to share stuff that's not, I don't know, your best work. But this is what this is the best of what I can do with my current skills because I'm still learning this stuff. So,
Excellent.
Yeah. So there's that one and just one more. Which I'm getting ready for my level 14 critique when Ron gets back from Las Vegas. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Excellent. I love that last one. That's cool.
Oh wow, thanks for that. Yeah, I don't know. I've had a bit of feedback about her being too far on the left. People want me to extend it more on the left, and I think that makes it too long. And yeah.
Let me say something about that because I'm the host of the show and I can kick you all off if you say no. So, and it's the same with some of the feedback about some of the images today was like, it was too dark in the corners or it was too this or too that. Look, you're the author, right? You're the artist. You're the one telling the story. And sometimes, a critique could be that you need a bit more space because there's too much tension, but your argument could be, I want the tension, I want her right up against the left-hand side of the image, I want her to be coming into what's on the right. Yep. It's like, if we go with the status quo, we'll get very average images from everyone, and I like it when people push it, like the shot of the waterfall earlier on, I loved that it was really black in the corner. I don't think every photo needs to have detail in every corner of every image. I love the fact that the blackness of the corners kept you away from the corners and brought you into where the water was and took you up to where the light was. So, I mean, that's my personal opinion. Other people's opinions is that it was too black in the corners. So you just got to go with what you like because it's up to you. You're the author and you're the one telling the story. And I think it's cool with her on hard up on the left. I think it's wicked.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that feedback. That's awesome.
And Ron will too.
I hope so.
I'll send him a message.
Lisa, did you manage to get your image sharing working?
No, not yet. But Miss Nicole says that if I share some in the chat, then she'll share them. So how about we try that little workaround?
Tag team.
Tag team, woohoo! So I'm just trying to grab a couple. Let's see. Maybe if I share them in the chat in here with a link, would that work?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see if I can share this. All right, come on.
Well, Lisa does that. Ollie, did you get any chance to play with your quadcopter this week?
No. Weather has been a bit iffy. I just realised the other day, for someone who's finished in autumn, or fall, has started, and as such, the weather is a little bit tumultuous, but ironically, today is absolutely gorgeous outside, and I'm stuck in here on the Creation Wars, so I haven't been able to get out today, but I have a meeting tomorrow with a big construction site that is doing an enormous extension on the motorway within Auckland City, and they're very keen to replace their current photographer in a helicopter with a photographer with a quadcopter to save money, which is great for me and not so good for the other guy who is a commercial photographer who I'm stealing work off. But them's the breaks, eh? Commercial world. But yeah, I know one of the guys on the project that mentioned that we had this quadcopter, and he was like, "Oh, could you get a shot where you're like flying across outside and then you go into the tunnel and through 2 miles of tunnel and out the other end?" I'm like, "Sure can." He's like, "You're hired." So that's very exciting. I like it when new clients come along and pay me money for new toys that I just bought.
That sounds very cool.
I guess, while Lisa's getting those pictures up, if you wanted, I was saying to Tiff, I'll show the composite I'm currently working on. It's just a still from that I posted not too long ago. Oops. And decided to switch pictures on me. So I did a hangout with a bunch of people, I don't remember when that was, a few months ago, and showed them how I created the background. It's about 6 different pictures, just the background alone, and then the ships are all individual, and the mermaid I shot last week, so I'm just working on her.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw those images as you were sharing them. How you built the background and all the bits and pieces that made it up. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, the total file size, I'm up to about 3.2 gigabytes.
Nice.
We'll just say it's
So
slowing
cool.
down the computer a wee bit.
I can share an image that was shared with me just now.
Yeah, I figured I'd just put up a few, and then I can go through them, but they'll be there for you.
There we go.
So, so this was our first group picture in Joshua Tree on Saturday. There was 7 of us. We started out by touring Keys Ranch. We got a special photographer's tour, so we were more chaperoned than toured, so that we had full reign and we could take our tripods in and such, which you can't actually do on the regular tour. So it was very exciting to be able to just meet up with all these awesome people and do stuff. So from, I guess it would be my left, so there's Steve Walzer from House Lightbender. And then Aaron is in Scott's, and I'm not even going to try saying his name. Yes. And then me, and then there's AD, and then Murray, and Caleb, and then John, and I can't remember whose cohort John is from, but so we had 5 lightbenders and 2 non-lightbenders on the trip. So this was early on in the trip. when we got this shot.
Did you send another one?
I did. I'll pull up a couple others too while we're talking. And you have to keep in mind, I just pulled off my Google Photos that were backed up from my iPhone. So these two haven't been edited in any way, shape, or form. But this is second day of the trip. We left Joshua Tree and headed towards Death Valley. We went through Amboy, California, which is along Route 66. And there's a section there where people have written all kinds of messages and rocks along the side of the road there. So we decided that we needed to create the Arcanum symbol in the rocks. For posterity's sake, it's there.
Can you see it from space?
I don't think it's big enough to see from space, Ollie, but it was good enough for us.
That's cool.
And I don't know if it'll let me do a video, but we're going to try it here. Are you able to get that, Ollie?
I'll give it a go.
There's not really much sound there except the sound of the wind. So this is just taken with my iPhone. We went to... we're at the top of Dante's View, and Andy, basically he brought the snow with him all the way from New York, all the way across the country and into California, where we got to the top of Dante's View, which is at like 5,500 feet. And this is just a little clip of the snow we got in Death Valley. There wasn't really enough to... it wasn't sticking anywhere, and for a California girl like me, it was pretty exciting. Andy was less thrilled. He's like, what the heck? Let's see, what else have I got? We've got... Oh, go back, go back. And I'm doing a really poor job of this. I apologize. I'm really bummed that my computer took a dump tonight. Let's see.
See that
that was a visual I didn't need.
That turn of phrase means something completely different down under.
I'm sorry. It crashed, it burned, what other adjectives can I use? I didn't mean it in that fashion. Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, Stuart is the title for this week's show. Lisa's computer takes dump.
It has been just one of those days, if you only knew.
So who's in this shot?
This is me and Aaron at the edge of the world there in Death Valley. Freezing, but we were all happy to be there.
Okay, I just have to know, what's your definition of freezing?
It's not your definition, definitely.
Okay, just making sure. I'm like, because here, -40 in the winter Celsius is a pretty common occurrence. In California, I think the world,
Sorry, this picture looks very much like the Canadian summer to me.
I should have known I was going to get caught on that.
I think California shuts down at 0 degrees Celsius.
I don't know that California ever gets to... Well, I don't know what's 0 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. I don't know.
82.
Oh, well, it gets there, so...
Yeah,
but I certainly don't go anywhere. Just one more quick one of the group here. There are, of course, a lot of shots of everybody. Taking it sweet time. Oh, I guess it helps if I don't put it in the wrong chat box. Try again. I'm telling you guys, it's just been one of those days. Let's see. Try it again.
Time for some poetry, I think, Stu.
So,
yeah.
just so you know, Lisa, AD right now is saying the snow was not his fault, and the problem with Canadians is that it's too cold. And he's from New York, so.
Hey, AD. How you doing, buddy? Ready to chat. All right, so we're here. Ah, nice. Who's the ghost on the left?
Oh, that would be me. So this is us in Joshua Tree again. Everywhere we went, there was just we created little groves of tripods. And
is that the collective noun? A grove of tripods?
That's what we've deemed it. There's actually another shot somewhere where all you see is tripods, because we had set up and we were waiting for the clouds to move into where we wanted it to be, and so like there's just like a row of like 7 tripods and there's nobody in the frame. It was pretty funny.
Excellent.
And I'll share just one more that I actually did manage to get processed from another location we were in, and then anybody who's got me circled on G+, I've been sharing stuff there as I get processed, and I'm sure at least 3 or 4 of us will be writing blog posts and such about all of our fun exploits and on this trip, because there's really just too much to tell in this short time we have here.
You see Jessica Lark's comment. The proteges from her cohort are awesome. Then again, technically all the proteges are hers.
Technically that is true.
Thank you, Jess. Doing well.
Okay, let's see.
I have to say, no pressure, Lisa, but the number of people viewing this show has literally halved.
I'm sorry, I'm killing it. All right, I just posted one last one, and then
Nice.
So the last day of the trip, we went out to AD's favorite place out in Nelson, Nevada, called the El Dorado Gold Mine, and this is one of the shots that I took there, and it's so far one of my favorite shots from the whole trip. But I'm sure everybody will be inundated from now until forever with shots of Joshua Tree, Death Valley, and the gold mine, and then even other places. I mean, AD, after I left the group, they went out to the Grand Canyon and saw snow in the Grand Canyon, which is that one they can't complain about, because that you don't get very often, and it's hard to get that one when you're planning for it. So to not plan for that and to get that awesome rare sight was truly special indeed. So, but all around.
Did he see the Niagara Falls freezing as well?
I don't know. You'll have to talk to AD about that one.
Because that's also one of those, once in a lifetime things.
Yeah.
Awesome
so,
stuff. I love
is
the
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that
speed,
online.
Yeah, at the speed that falls goes, it's impressive that it managed to freeze.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Lisa, is this image using one of those amazing textures from AD Weather's texture pack?
I have to be honest and say they are textures, but this one is from Trey's texture pack.
Oh,
Actually, it's a combination of several of them from Trey's texture pack. I just liked what it did with the colors and it how to make things pop. But there will be lots of stories and stuff to come. But I just have to say that overall, just the entire trip was nothing short of magic. And I'm not just saying that because it's a word we like to throw around in the Arcanum. It truly was an experience of a lifetime. And anybody that has the opportunity to meet up with their cohort and take a trip like this needs to move heaven and earth to be able to do it, because the 4 days I spent with my cohort out in the desert were 4 days that I will not forget, even if I get Alzheimer's in my old age.
AD wanted me to mention that anyone who has pictures from that trip, if you guys hashtag Arcanum Cali, and then that will put them all under one heading.
Cali short for California, as opposed to Kelly short for Kelly Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arcanum CALI.
Arcanum Cali. If I ever go to Texas, I'm going to make sure I meet Kelly Lewis. Thanks for sharing, Lisa. That was awesome, and it was great to see that.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
It's nothing like a workaround to lose a few viewers. That's all good.
Lisa will be forever known as the one that loses all the viewers.
People have got other things to do. What's funny is that we have so much fun on this show that people end up writing and complaining. Guys, you guys are having too much fun. I got to go pick up the kids, Eitan. And they end up missing picking up the kids because they want to watch the show. So I don't mind that. That's cool. We're having too much fun.
We must be doing something right.
That's right. That's right. No chocolate dickies to share with you this week, otherwise known as cookies.
Martin did send me a Twitter pic of, is it Tim Tams?
Tim Tams.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he brought some to Pennsylvania with him when he went to go spend the weekend with John from our cohort. So
nice.
They did make the trip into Pennsylvania.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so they should. If we ever do have a great, big, huge, enormous Arcanum hangout somewhere in real life, I'll make sure that we get stocked up with Tim Tams. Maybe we should do that here in New Zealand. I know it's a bit of a pilgrimage, but wouldn't that be cool? Everyone come down to New Zealand for a week. We're shooting with Trey and Pete and Curtis.
You book the flights, Ollie, and I'll be there.
I'll book the flight, man. I'll be on it. Okay, you book your own flight. I'll be booking my own flights.
Give me a year to start my business, then I'll be able to make the trip.
Oh, of course, because a one-year-old business is a prime time to scarper the country and go away for 10 days, because you'll have all that money.
It's better than the first 6 months of it. Business expense. I can use the whole trip as a business expense.
Totally, right? If you don't have a company, you set one up simply to claim expenses on a trip to New Zealand. Stuart.
Noted.
So I don't know why I said
Hey, I'm doing it for London in June.
Excellent.
Nice.
Is that for the workshop that Jessica and Martin are doing? Is that?
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go spend 2 weeks there, and Martin and I are gonna do some shooting around London, and he's gonna help me set up some shoots, and then we've got the workshop with Jess. I think we've got John coming as well, and another one of our cohort is coming, but he's not coming to the workshop. He'll just be in London to hang out. So it'll be fun, because Martin's literally the only one from London. So everyone else is coming across the pond for it.
That's excellent. There you go, Stuart. I might be on the complete opposite side of the world from you, but there's no reason for you to not come and play Hobbiton with me.
Fair point, yes, fair point. But I'll share some images now, actually, just a couple from recent
And that's
trips.
it, folks. We've all run out of time. We're going to end the broadcast there.
Oh, you're so nice, Ollie. So nice. I don't think you've even seen these ones. You would think you would want to, being, my old master and all. And I emphasise old there.
Yeah. Hence the lack of enthusiasm for it. Yes. You're gone, buddy. You're out of here.
Yes. So, can you see this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out of focus.
Yeah. So the point behind showing this one and the next one that's coming up is kind of the whole thing we've discussed before about revisiting different areas. And sometimes you go in a winter or a summer and it looks completely different to you. But I actually went to this same location twice within a week, and on the first day it was like this, and it was pretty rainy, a little bit sleet and stuff. And then I was back there yesterday on the way to do some waterfall shooting elsewhere, and then the complete feel of the image and the area changes, and I had a little bit of opportunity to play with some sun flares and things like that, which were fun. Something I've discovered about one of my lenses is that it flares quite significantly, which is good to play with. And then while I was off searching for waterfalls, I was stumbling across deer just about everywhere. It's that time of year here where there's deer everywhere, and so I was able to spend some time watching them, having fun playing around with each other, just as the seasons are changing. So this is a couple of the deer out in the wild, just having a little fight, which I thought was fun.
Nice. I like that sun flare.
Yeah,
Talk about
it's quite
a decisive moment. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good moment. And I can't say that it was too hard. I have about 10 or 15 decisive moments from this little fight. They just kept on going at it, which was good. So I had plenty of time to pick the right one. So it was fun.
Good work, Stu.
So, Stu, aren't you running workshops over in Scotland later in the year?
Yeah, there will be one. It's myself and Jake McCluskey from again, someone from AD's cohort, and they're just taking over the world. It doesn't matter where you turn, there's one from AD's cohort there. So, yeah, he and I will be running a workshop. I'll put the link in the show notes just so everyone can get to it. I showed it previously, but if you've not seen it, you can see it again. And yeah, there's myself and him, and he's also doing some workshops with other people from the Arcanum and some people from outside the Arcanum as well. So yeah, this website will be the one to go for. In fact, I'll share it in a moment, if you just give me a second. And you can get
one of the downsides of Tanya Wallace not taking over from Tiff, and therefore being kept very busy, is that she gets to go off and take the mickey out of the show's host in her own private little homage du pirate. Pirate Ollie's, $5. Can I, just before we cut over to Stu's screen, can I just point out, Tanya Wallace, that there's no apostrophe in Ollie's, okay? We don't have an apostrophe in Ollie's, if that would be possessive. Okay, that would make it my $5. If you're having multiple Ollies, there's no apostrophe. All right, over to you, Stu. Look at that, a legendary Scotland photo adventure.
Yes, so it's shutterclickadventures.com, and as I say, there's the trip to Scotland. You can go to Vietnam and Cambodia as well, South Dakota, all over the place. Peru, wherever you want to go in the world, Jake's doing quite well at gathering loads of stuff together and loads of photographers that know the areas, and he also runs his own workshops as well in his local area. So something for everybody there to check out.
What's the date of your one?
What's the date? It's the end of July.
Very nice.
It's a month after I'm gone. Damn it.
Well, you could just stay on. I'm sure it's pretty cheap to stay in London.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, actually it is for me because I'm staying with family, but take advantage of that door while I've still got it before they move to Dubai.
Oh, but Dubai. That's also an awesome place to take photos and stuff. I would think it's on my list of places I want to travel to.
I think it might be hard to take portraiture photos there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just taking a wild guess, and then that models in sleazy outfits, probably walking down the streets, probably wouldn't end so well for me.
Yeah.
Might get arrested.
Sorry. I wasn't thinking of your genre. I was thinking, obviously, landscape.
Just imagine the behind-the-scenes video. That would go viral.
Yeah. Us being chased by the mobs. It's like out of an old Frankenstein movie.
In Dubai. Not that kind of stone. Stuart, I just wanted to. Here's a shot of downtown Auckland. So if you just want to have a chat with Jake McCluskey, if he wants to come and do a photo walk here, you can get amazing shots like this one.
That is pretty special.
Yeah, that's the place I live, buddy. I mean, there are other options like that is actually also the place I live, and this one, but don't necessarily need to see those. It's more the congestion and. Here we go. This is awesome. Whoops, not that one. Stink. I just totally lost it. Yes, it is. Here it is. Shopping downtown Auckland. Souvenirs in 3 different languages, 4 different languages.
No, that looks exactly like a street in Sydney.
There's the ambulance
Same sign and everything.
In the corner too fast in Auckland. That's amazing. They had to take the ambulance drivers to hospital in another ambulance. That's when we had the big tuna parade. That was when more than 2 cars turned up one day on Queen Street. So we took a photo of that too. This girl here, she was travelling. She took a photo of herself in Auckland on a volcano. I mean, that's the way to see Auckland. Stand on a volcano. Excellent. So yeah, if you do want to come down at Christmas time, you can see Santa. Santa gets put up on one of the bookstore buildings.
I don't know if it's just me, but there's something so wrong with Santa Claus and no snow.
Yeah, we go to the beach and we have barbecues and we wear like shorts and t-shirts and then we open our Christmas presents.
I don't know. We've had a couple years where it's been what we call brown Christmases, where there wasn't snow on the ground, and it's just not the same.
This is our international delegation to Japan. Just before they left, they were going off to represent New Zealand. So yeah, it's a cool place. You should come visit. Sometimes the sun goes down and we get these amazing shots. Actually, Stu, I didn't know if you saw we had a new addition to our cohort today. Hugh.
Yes, I did see that.
Hugh
Yes.
joined the Ollie Dale cohort, and I have to say, it's possibly the most tactically brilliant step I've ever made. Hugh lives in Barbados, and he just said in a post that they have 350 amazing sunsets and 16 average ones, and that we're all invited to go and stay at his house. So I think I just made the best move all year.
Well, he might have that, but he doesn't have the best name in the cohort.
Hugh?
Yes, it's Flint Cave is our best name.
Oh yes. Yeah, Flint.
How can you go? How can you go wrong? And you can't go wrong in life with a name like Flint Cave.
Yeah, it definitely conjures up clubs and fires out the front of killing the saber-toothed tiger. That's awesome.
Ollie, I was just getting some feedback from some of the cohort members, through Jess's 3 cohorts that she's got, and they were saying they'd love to see a couple creation wars that are predominantly genre related, where you've got judges specifically for those genres and photos from those genres.
That would be special. I do feel our beautiful fashion image today was probably a little bit ripped off.
It's okay. We got people's choice.
Yeah, totally. No, but I think it was quite possibly the best one of the day. But that's only my own personal opinion, of course. But yeah, that's a really good idea. Maybe we should do a genre-specific. If you do fine art nudes, I won't be able to come to that. I'm married and I'm Catholic, so we'll have to get Stu to take over that week. Because he's married, but chances are he's not Catholic, so you could probably do fine art nudes. But I think it's a good idea to get specific judges with specific talents judging specific genre, that would be clever.
I don't
That's
know how
probably why
much
we haven't.
competition I would have for fine art news. You couldn't really put them against portraiture, at least not if all the judges are male.
Yeah, that would
But
just heavily stacked.
I might win.
Yeah.
One-sidedly. But no, it's just I think I get where they're coming from. It's for me to judge the landscapes, it was really hard because I don't understand landscape. I only can tell you what I like and what I don't like in the image itself. So it's but the technical aspects I've never been very good at landscape. And then vice versa, no one really wanted to try too much at the portrait because it's not their area of expertise either.
I can recommend, if you get the opportunity, to sit in on a public judging in a category that you don't understand, such as landscape. I, for the longest time, also had no idea how to judge a landscape image, and Stuart would probably argue that I still have no idea what I'm talking about. But I went along to the New Zealand Professional Photography Awards, and they're all open, 3 days of judging in multiple categories. And it's the most amazing experience is to see people who know what they're talking about talk up and down images that are in front of them, and you can look at them, you can see them yourself, you can make your own judgment, and then you can hear what the judges say. And it's a very, very valuable experience because understanding another genre can help you in your own. I heard a wedding photographer once say that they didn't want to go to a talk by a commercial photographer because it didn't have anything in it for them, and I thought that was the most narrow-minded approach ever, because I could learn something quite possibly even from yourself, Nicole, in the fine art nude world that I may or may not be able to bring into my commercial photography. But it may even just be lighting, who knows. So yeah, if you do get a chance and you don't know landscape, go learn from people who do, in the sense of that sort of live judging scenario, because you can take some of that stuff back and start applying it into your own genre and think about things you haven't thought about because you're not in that sort of way of thinking.
Yeah. You have to figure out if there is a competition in Edmonton.
Actually, I think the New Zealand Photography Awards were streamed last year, and we actually recorded them. So if I can find a link, you could actually watch and listen. So you see the images being judged and you hear the judges talking.
That would be awesome.
Be quite useful.
Well, I've only been shooting 2 years, so I mean I've got tons to still learn.
Yeah, cool. Well, you're doing very well so far.
Thank you. Lisa, you're back.
Yes. Tonight of all nights. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Is this like I had a hangout with a fellow apprentice like 2 nights ago. It was perfectly fine. Shared my screen, open Photoshop, open Lightroom, the whole shebang. Fine. Tonight, because it's Creation Wars night, nothing wants to work. It's just been one of those days.
That's all right, because when you left, our viewers went up to 60 again, but then when you came back on, it's dropped down to 13. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna go cut my wrist now.
What did you do to those 30 people?
I swear I didn't touch them. I didn't do a thing. I'm just so popular that they just said, you know what, she's not there, we're going away. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Gotta make it interesting, right?
I have to share this with you because Anya just, I don't know how many kids she has, but it's not enough because she's still got spare time. She's now changed it to Pirate Ollie's does not have. Oh, goodness. The reply in the hangout that she sent before was, "You're totally there on that one," and she spelled them all the wrong way. She's just trying to be cheeky with my You should call me the grammar Nazis. Anyway, I have a feeling there might be a rush of memes of Pirate Ollies popping up in Windows all over the internet. Stuart, you're going to have to watch out for the internet. Might break the internet on that one.
Tanya may have started something. I wonder what the ransom is to make it stop.
Did Tanya start it, or did our Trey's
Carl
photo
started
makeover?
it. Yeah, Carl started it today. Thank you very much, Carl. You're also fired. So,
but you can count on Tanya to keep it going, though.
I can see that's going to catch on. Just before we go, Nicole, I started asking earlier, but you didn't hear. So, where did the blonde hair go?
Where did the blonde hair? Oh, that picture. That picture is back from last year when I first started with the Arcanum. Actually, I've been bugging my cohort for months now that I should probably just take a self-portrait, because I tend to avoid cameras like the plague. At least being in front of them. But the pictures of me going back about 10 years, you could count on two hands.
Right.
Yeah, and my hair is different in every single one of them. From long to short to platinum blonde to dark brown. So I'm back to being a redhead again for now.
Good work.
It's the hairdresser.
A good self-portrait of Ollie on the screen. Just now.
Thank you very much. That's excellent.
Yeah,
So there'll be a self-portrait coming up eventually.
Cool. Yeah,
The
and
next
people
creation worms will be done from Ollie's hammock.
Yes, people can just screenshot what's on my screen just now, and then they can composite that into any image they want.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever watched the show Rick Mercer? No. Okay, it's a Canadian political show that's like it's a comedian, but basically he takes politicians' heads and he has an app on his website that you can put this head on this picture, and he does this with politicians' heads. It's quite amusing, actually. Kind of the same concept.
Awesome.
Did you notice, Stu, that I'm wearing a very similar T-shirt to the one that I was in that particular shot?
I did not notice that.
It's very interesting. All right, guys. Unless you've got something mind-blowing to keep the 6 people still watching on the edge of their seats, then what we should do is just pretend that we're leaving, and then when Lisa leaves, the viewers will go up and we can keep talking.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, it's been pretty low tonight. Sorry about that. Thank you all very much for coming. That's what happens, you see, when the time changes and I have extra time to fill in before I have to go pick up my wife. I just come up with crap jokes like that. I'm going to now because very soon I have to go pick up my wife. And that's all good news for everyone else on the internet. So thank you all for coming today. And it's been fun to have you on, especially new faces. Thank you all.
Thanks, Ollie. It was an honor to be here.
Yes, it was.
Pleasure. Come again. And then it's Stuart. Stuart just comes every week. See you guys.
All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.